Right, time now for the business roundup, and Fernand van Tetz is here. Good morning, Fernand. And we're starting with France, which is hoping to reap the benefits from a tourism boost in Cuba.
Right, so tourism really kicking off in Cuba. The U.S. embargo is still in place, so French business hoping to get in on the action. The Havana International Trade Fair has a record number of French businesses exhibiting, hoping to invest in things like tourism, but also construction and infrastructure. Our correspondent Jose Joitia sent us this report from Havana.
The 34th Havana International Trade Fair has businesses from 74 countries in search of contracts. Philippe Garcia of Business France accompanies the French firms.
In 2015, we had 28 companies exhibiting. Today, we have an additional 20.
Cuba's looking for foreign investment, particularly to modernize its run-down infrastructure.
There is some 8,000 kilometers of train track in Cuba, so it's very big. So there are numerous development opportunities.
Just last week, French Trade Minister Matthias Fekl was in Havana to inaugurate the French Development Agency.
After years of blockage of these negotiations, we've succeeded in a historic debt agreement.
The Paris Club deal has been a shot in the arm for French firms.
We have been in Cuba for many years with a somewhat modest presence, but this creates opportunities for projects with greater scope.
Since the normalization of US-Cuban relations, tourism to the island has exploded. But though softened, the embargo is still an obstacle for US firms.
We are 200 miles just north of Havana as the crow flies, and I think 200 miles away with the embargo lifting, our fantastic prices, I think we'll be able to deal here in Cuba.
The French construction giant Bouygues is building hotels and is also expanding the capital's airport.
With Havana Airport, it's the first time in decades that the Cuban authorities have entrusted foreign companies to modernize their strategic infrastructure, and the work is going to French businesses.
With less than 1% growth forecast this year, and with Venezuela, its main ally, on the ropes, Cuba's strategy is to open to the world.
Right, let's take a quick look at the markets. Fernand, how are they doing this morning?
Well, markets still digesting that uncertainty in the US elections. Investors like certainty. So the race is tight and they don't like that. Clinton is seen as likely to maintain the status quo, while Trump's policies are less clear. And that uncertainty has caused jitters in financial markets. You can see all markets in Asia trading down this morning, except for the Hang Seng up just a little bit there. Let's take a look at some of the day's other business stories for you. China's Wanda Group is buying Dick Clark Productions for $1 billion. The US studio is behind the Golden Globe Awards and shows such as So You Think You Can Dance and its namesake Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Wanda is already the world's largest cinema operator, and now it looks set on conquering the television market as well. Now we'll be talking to our correspondent in China about this story in about an hour, so stay tuned. Google has again said it does not agree with the EU's objections to how it displays shopping links in its search results. Europe's competition commissioner says the technology giant unfairly promotes its own shopping service and blocks rivals in online search advertising. Google says it is just innovating to serve its customers better. And if Google is found guilty of breaching EU rules, the penalty could reach more than 7 billion euros. And shares in Japanese airbag maker Takata were briefly suspended on Friday morning. When they resumed trading, they fell almost 6%. The disruption comes amid media reports that the company is considering filing for bankruptcy in the US. The potential move follows the costliest car recall in history over its exploding airbags.
And finally, in the US, the government is asking people to write in and tell them how much Nutella they eat. Why, Fernand? What's happening?
Yeah, it's quite funny. So this is actually a bid by the company that owns Nutella, Ferrero, to get Nutella reclassified. Right now, it is classified as a dessert spread. People said that they used to have it on ice cream. So that means that the normal dosage is 2 teaspoons. And that means that things like calories and fat content also go up. Ferrero wants it classed as a sandwich spread, like honey or jam. And that could reduce the serving size to 1 tablespoon and cut the number of calories and fat listed on Nutella's nutritional labels in half. Now, if you feel passionate about this issue, you can contribute online till January 3rd.
And what about you, Fernand? Are you a Nutella on waffles kind of gal, or a Nutella on a piece of toast?
Piece of toast, I would say. I mean,
sandwich
I think it's
spread
kind of
then.
outdated, no? This whole dessert.
Well, I don't know. Here in France, they do like to eat Nutella on the crepes and on the waffles. So I don't know. I like a bit of both. Thank you for that, Fernand. That was Fernand Van Tetz with The Business.